Hey, what's cracking, everybody? On today's video, I am finally releasing LinuxHub Prime version 3.0.9. So, in this video, we're going to showcase all the changes, that we have on the system. So, I don't want to make this a very long video because I know you guys are tired and bored of watching LinuxHub videos. So, let's go ahead and get through with this one. So as you can see right here on the splash screen, it does say the prime build for today's date, which is November 3rd, 2025. And it is LinuxHub Prime version 3.0.9. And the ISO is now fully booted up. And you can see right here, we get one message that says, before the installer begins, please make sure you have a working internet connection. So that's one thing that's with LinuxHub, is that you need an internet connection in order to install LinuxHub Prime. So in this case, if you're not connected to the internet, just select your Wi-Fi or whatever, or hardwire, set it up. I'm on a virtual machine, so it's just passed through from my regular system, so the internet is already connected. But if you're on bare metal, you will have to connect to your Wi-Fi or install, or just plug in a Ethernet connection in order for it to work. Okay, so that's all this tells you right here. So the installer will not start until you have it connected, and then we proceed with connected. Okay, and you can see the installer has changed a little bit. You got your selections right here. You got OpenBox, you got Awesome, you got Budgie, BSPWM, Cinnamon. I added Cosmic. You got the Gnome. Get the Hyperland installer. Now this one comes with the Waybar, which is I guess the natural or the original look of it. And then I also made a new system, but with Tint 2. So that way, just to have a more different layout for Hyperland, to where you could use a regular panel instead of having to get used to the Waybar. So I would call this something like for a new user. A new user that wants to play with Hyperland, this would be a good choice for them, because they can practice with it, and from there they can learn the system and then make all the hard changes they want. Then we got Mate, Plasma, Qtao, XFCE, Arch install itself. We have an installer video guide, and we have the Update Prime installer. This is new. This is also so you can check for updates. Now, of course, this is the latest release, so it's not going to be an update. So another thing I want to explain before I get started with this, with the Prime installer, is I've made a lot of changes. There's going to be a lot of changes on this. First of all, the background you see right here is not going to be the same every time you boot up, because it changes to a different background every time. So that's one thing. And obviously the layout of the installer is different. You can see right here. And then there's a few changes, so you'll see it as it goes along. So for right now, I like OpenBox, so I'm going to go with the OpenBox installer. And you can see right here, it's almost the same, but there are a few changes. So let's go through them. So the username, I'm just going to put test, and then I'm going to give it a complicated password. Again, with the complicated password. And of course, this is the same, auto login. If you want auto login, it's automatically selected to yes. But if you're a new user, I would go with no. All right, AUR helpers, right now it's selected to all of them. If you just want one of them or none of them, you can choose whatever you want, but the default is always going to be all. Select Arch install method. This I was thinking about removing this, because you really don't need it no more, because all the options are pretty much the same. But for now it's still in there, but I think in the next release I'll probably end up just removing this, because it's kind of obsolete. And then install NVIDIA drivers. Of course, I'm on a virtual machine, so I got it automatically on no. But if you need NVIDIA drivers, select yes. Install LibreOffice is also automatically selected to no, but if you want LibreOffice, select yes. Install gaming helpers is automatically selected to no, but if you want gaming helpers, select yes. This right here is a new thing also, minimal or full packages. So right here I got mini and full. So if you select the minimal, you're just gonna get a basic setup desktop. So you're just gonna have a video player, a music player, image viewer. It's just gonna be basic. It's going to look pretty, but it's just going to be basic. You're just going to get basic packages. If you select the full, then you're going to get pretty much everything you need for a full productive system. So you're going to get a lot of image software, office software, audio, video software, recording software. You're gonna get a full package. So the choice is up to you. You can go with mini or you can go with full. In this case, I'm just gonna leave it on mini since I'm doing a test on a virtual machine. All right, so that's basically the layout now of how the installer is going to look. So like I said, I'm probably going to remove this select arch install method in a future update because it's kind of obsolete the way I have it set up, and we'll go through it right now and I'll kind of explain why it's obsolete. All right, so okay, I'll go ahead and click on OK. So basically all I'm going to do right here is also set up my hard drive, but you do have other options that if you need to set up, you can. A good example would be like your arch install language, which is this right here. If you need to set up some locales, you can do that. If you need to set up some mirrors and repositories, you don't really have to, but like I said, if you require these changes, for example, if you don't speak English and you need another language, then change it right here. The time zone is automatically set up by the script, but you can double check it if you want to see. If you want to put additional packages, you can. That'll be up to you. Network, all these other options right here, like network configuration and kernels, that's already set up. So all you basically have to do is just set up your hard disk. So right here, I'll just hit enter on my keyboard, select partitioning, use a best effort. Default partition is what I always use, but you can use either option. You could go with a manual partitioning or pre-mounted configuration, but I always use a best effort. And of course, this is the only drive on here because it is a virtual machine. So you would have to pay attention right here if you're on bare metal. You want to make sure you're installing it to the proper device or the proper disk. So I'll select this one. And of course, as your file system, you can select BDRFS, ext4, XFS, or F2FS. I always use ext4. It's just a force of habit. There's no real meaning behind it. It's just what I always do. It's the default choice that I stick with, and I'm that type of person that I select something and I just stick with it. In theory, you can use whichever one you want, but since I always use ext4, that's what I'm going to go with. All right, and that's done. If you want to LVM your system, you can do that. If you want to select disk encryption, you can do that, but I'm not going to. I don't need it. So I'm just going to go to back, and now all I'm going to do is go straight to install. And from right here, basically, it'll start the installation. But right here, I want to explain to you. Basically, the mini right here is just telling you just to set up the disk configuration and go straight to install. And on the full, it removes all these other messages. It'll just be like the native Arch install script. It'll all work the same. It'll just be native. That's why I said it's kind of obsolete. So I think I'm going to remove it. So that's the explanation between the mini and full. Well, not the mini, but the minimal installer or the full installer. So from right here, all I have to do is click on enter on install. And then right here, just select yes. And the installer from right here will take over. And this is where the other changes are going to come into place. Okay, so now we get a window that pops up. And on this window right here, it's basically just telling you that it's installing the base packages and desktop environment with the Arch install script. Once complete, the Prime installer will continue. So right now you get a progress bar that's going to come along right here on the bottom. And then once this is completed, it'll move on to the Prime install script. And you can see right here, this Arch install script installs base packages required for a basic desktop setup. The Prime script will then take over and set up the Prime system. So basically, it's a redundant telling you that, hey, LinuxHub Prime is going to do most of the stuff. All we're using Arch install for is for the basic desktop and base packages. That's it. And I have removed all of the packages from Arch install itself. That way, all those errors that you would get because of a certain package not being there, I removed that. So now the packages are installed differently now. Now the packages are installed by the Prime installer. So once Arch install is complete, then the Prime installer will take over. So this is the new the new LinuxHub Prime installer, the way I have it set up. It uses Arch install just to install the base packages and the desktop environment. That's all it installs. Everything else is done by the Prime installer. And I got it set up to where if one package is broken, it doesn't break the installation. It'll just keep going. All right, so from right here, all you have to do is just sit down and wait. All right, so from right here, like I said, all you have to do is, sit down, go make yourself a cup of coffee, and then just let the installer do its thing. And like I said, Arch install no longer deals with the packages. All the packages are done by the Prime installer. The only thing Arch install does is install the desktop environment and the base packages. That's it. Everything else is done by the Prime installer. All right, so at this point, I have just paused the video, and then when we come back, we'll continue and take over and see the system that we got. Okay, the installation is now completed. So you can see right here, it says installation complete. You may now reboot into your new system. Thank you for trying LinuxHub Prime. And the button right here says reboot. So you just click on that and it'll reboot your system. And our system is now rebooted after a successful installation. And as you can see, we have a different wallpaper because the wallpapers are going to be constantly changing on the OpenBox desktop environment. And the first thing you're greeted with right here is the LinuxHub welcome. It says, welcome to LinuxHub Prime version 3.0.9. LinuxHub is both lightweight and powerful at the same time. Built with Arch Linux and customized just right for everyday use. Proceed to customize even further. Enjoy. And then you just click on proceed. And from right here, you can do all the customizations you want. So if you want to install additional software, you can install using PAMAC. And this will install from the AUR, chaotic AUR, the regular repositories. It'll pretty much install from everything. So you can use this to install whatever it is you want to install. But just with the PAMAC alone, you can install anything you want. You can also back up your system. If you have a YouTube, if you have a Bluetooth enabled device, you can enable Bluetooth from here. And of course, you can visit LinuxHub website. You can visit the forum. I have my Patreon, so if you want to donate, you can go through Patreon. And then also, if you want to view the change logs, you can view the change logs. If you want to build your own custom ISO, you can do it through here also. Remember, the builder and LinuxHub Prime, the ISOs are two separate projects. So this would actually take you to the website, and then you would have to follow the instructions on the website so you can build the system yourself. All right, because they are separate projects now. So this is LinuxHub version 3.0.9. As you can see right here, I did install the minimal desktop package layout. So on accessories, you got you got Nemo, Pluma, and Variety. Development, you have Genie and the icon browser. Under games, you do have Steam. Under graphics, you have UNOR to view images. Under internet, you have Firefox. Multimedia, you do have VLC for audio and video. You also have celluloid and MPV. And settings, you got your settings right here, and then your system. So like I said, this is the minimal layout, and it has pretty much everything you need. But then of course, you can install whatever you want else on there and make it a full system. So on the full system, it'll be a lot brighter. You'll have a lot more audio packages, a lot more imaging packages, a lot more video, Office, gaming, things like that. So it's all up to you on how you install the system itself. And let's open up a terminal so we can see right here. We are only running memory 452 megabytes. And this is why I like OpenBox, because it's a real light system. But you can see right here, it is Arch Linux on the virtual machine. The kernel is 6.17. And the packages that you installed on the minimal is only 671. Typically, when you look at something like this, it'll be in the thousands, but it's the minimal version, the minimal package version. So it's only 671. And of course, everything right here is relevant to whatever system you're actually on. And you do have a right click menu on the open box desktop. And from right here, you know, if you want to select your themes, you go to appearance, and right here you got LX appearance that you can open up. And you know, you got everything else right here. You can change themes, change icons, restart open box. You can remove window decorations or return the window decorations. So let me open up a folder, see how it's set up right now. So right now you got the close and minimize buttons and all that, but you can actually remove those. So let's say right here, click on this, and you can see now it's removed. Of course, I know how to resize the windows because I got it set up the way I like it. So you know, I can set it up either way that I want to. And if you want to return them, just click right here, click on return, and you can see right here we have the buttons that are back right here. For me personally, I like to have them removed. But whatever is your taste, go for it. All right, so that's that right there, and that's pretty much a lot of the changes that are here. As you can see, the wallpaper just constantly keeps changing. Right now, I guess through this last transition, Arch Linux is going through a lot of changes. They always do, you know, coming up on the first of the month. But this time they've removed quite a bit of packages. So the typical wallpaper manager that I would use was Nitrogen before, but that's no longer there. So what I'm using now is Variety. So right here. All right, so now we have Variety as our wallpaper changer. So, you know, you can just go to preferences and you can set it up however you want. You know, Variety has quite a bit of selections that you can use. So, you know, just go through it and figure out how you want to set it up and have fun with it. And if you want to just change your wallpaper on the fly, you can just click on next, and bam, it'll just switch it up to another one. You can just repeat this, and then you also have it to where you could change the timing on it, however long you want it for it to switch wallpaper. If you want it done quicker or longer, it's all up to you. If you want to remove it altogether and just keep one wallpaper, you can do that. So whatever your choice is, you can do it. All right, so basically the whole purpose of this is I reworked pretty much the whole installer itself. That was the main part. That's why I really haven't put out any videos, because I've been slaving myself over this and I wanted to get it just right. And it's done. I'm happy with it. The installer that I use on my ISOs and the installer that's on the builder are two different installers. They don't work the same. They do the same functions, but they don't work the same. I did a lot of work on this installer. So this installer is now its own entity now. So, you know, it does what it does. It still uses Arch install, but Arch install is not used the way it was before because like I said, I think the last update I did, it only lasted like 2 days, and then something broke because of all the changes that Arch Linux is doing with the packages and removing packages, and that kind of like it kind of burned one of my wires in my brain, and I said I was just tired of things like that happening. So I changed it to where now all the packages are installed by the Prime installer. Arch install is only used to install the base system, just the base system. And I use the base system to install the desktop, and that's it. Everything else is done with the Prime installer. All right, you guys, so just wanted to show you that this is now ready, and it's going to be uploaded today. So by the time you see this video, it should be available and ready to download. And as I always say in these videos, you know, I need feedback. Without any feedback on it, you know, there's really not much that I can do as far as helping you out on your end. I get a lot of comments about other systems that are not even related to LinuxHub Prime, but for some reason, I don't get no questions regarding LinuxHub Prime. So, hey, if it's broken for you and you stay quiet about it, then you know, so be it. If I find that it is broken, you know, I'll deal with it. But if I don't know that it's broken, then hey, you know, peace out. That's all I can say. All right, you guys, if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you like the video you just saw, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video you saw, give it a thumbs down. It's all fair game here on LinuxHub Prime. And I'm out.